It's the GoGo Joe Show with me, Joe. It's Window Wandering Wednesday. This is the episode where I talk about business, technology, and startups, all while looking out at gorgeous windows from around the world. And this week we have so much to talk about. I hope you join me on the rest of the show to talk about topics such as Apple having a mixed reality headset, finally getting that mixed reality headset from Apple. They've been hinting at it for years. We got a robot drummer. We got Clubhouse in China. We got Tesla buying Bitcoin. Cha-ching! Price is going up. We got walking cars. You heard me right. Walking, Motrunkin cars. Twitter building an app store, and Google tracking your blood through your front camera, taking a selfie, getting your biometrics read. Google doing some crazy stuff, all that, and I'll probably do a small deep dive into how Domino's Pizza, that delicious Domino's Pizza, has been using AI to advance their business and doing it in a very cool way. Deep dive into that. Join me this Window Wandering Wednesday. Let's wander. It's the Joe Show. Here we are again, Window Wandering Wednesday, your source for business, technology, and science, news and headlines with some commentary. If you're listening to this in podcast form, welcome to my show. Not sure how you stumbled on it. If you're watching this on YouTube, same goes to you. Let me know how you stumbled on it in any way possible. Comments on YouTube are the best, but if there's some podcast way, you can also reach out, hijoeshow@gmail.com, to tell me how you stumbled on my content. Hope you're enjoying the sound of my voice. Let's get into it. We're looking out of a window behind me in Hong Kong. It's a gorgeous window. You can see the sea. There's all kinds of boats. There's buildings. It is incredible. Sunset. I don't even want to change the window, to be honest, because it is just an awesome view, if you can imagine it in your mind, looking out of a building high up in Hong Kong. Ships in the harbor, that golden red sunset in the background. It's so nice. But let's get into it. As I mentioned, we're going to do a deep dive into the Domino's Pizza here and how it is doing some really cool stuff. Let me just find the pizza. Yeah. So Domino's Pizza, if you're not aware of it, if you're not watching this in the US, although I think every country I've been to has had Domino's in it. They deliver pizzas. They're famous for their pizza tracker. You can go order a pizza online and then log in, and you'll actually see the progress of your pizza from being made, coming off the pizza conveyor belt, being topped, and then thrown in that hot bag, delivered straight to your door from that teenage driver who you got to remember to tip. Even though it's hard times, you got to tip that delivery driver, that young boy. Or if you're really into it, you can answer the door naked and freaking them out, whether you're a lady or a male. Answering the door naked, always a delight for the delivery driver. But what you might not know about the pizza chain is that they invested heavily in AI, and here is exactly what they did. They had apparently 4 AI strategies here we can see. It is the efficiency strategy, in which activities are optimized through automation. This is obviously becoming very, very popular as machine learning gets better and also robotics gets better, automating tedious tasks so that humans can focus on either creative things or bigger endeavors or harder, more complex tasks is the way of the future. And then we've got the effectiveness strategy, in which activities are made seamless, enabling easier communication. So this uses AI to do things like, correct spelling mistakes or predict interactions so that these things are made a little bit more seamless. Remember your preferences and then make suggestions so that you have a quicker, more seamless experience in your pizza ordering or in whatever you're interacting with. And then the expert strategy, in which AI empowers decision making. So this takes a little bit of the decision making power off of the human shoulders and places it onto the machine shoulders, and it does some of our thinking for us, and then maybe offers 2 or 3 decisions that we can go down instead of having to think about a complex topic and come up with these 3 or 4 ideas ourselves. And then the innovation strategy, in which AI enables creativity, something like, paint.wtf. It's another website that I found recently. I did a video on paint.wtf. It suggests prompts for you to paint using Microsoft Paint like interface, and you just paint them, and then it judges how well you did. So that is an AI empowering creativity in whatever weird way that is. Paint that. What the? So let's find out how Domino's has adopted these 4 AI strategies. That is the efficiency strategy, the effectiveness strategy, the expert strategy, and the innovation strategy. Oh, we had the 3 E's and an I. EEEI. Efficiency, effectiveness, expert, and innovation. Here we go. First one that Domino's did, which no one should be surprised about, but I was kind of surprised about, and that is investing in self-driving vehicle technology. Back in 2019, Domino's began a self-driving pizza delivery pilot program. The company partnered up with autonomous vehicle startup Nuro, which supplied self-driving electric vehicles that came equipped with doors locked behind a PIN code. The PIN code was only given to the person who ordered the pizza, like a delivery code, so that the would-be pizza thieves couldn't grab pizzas that didn't belong to them. Those goddamn Ninja Turtles always jumping up from the sewers and stealing pizzas that don't belong to them. Michelangelo, keep your nunchuck-wielding hands off my goddamn pizza. The program started in Houston, but Domino's plans to do a full rollout in years to come. I'm not sure if they're saying that this is the efficiency, the effectiveness, the expert, or the innovation strategy. I think in this case, it combines one or two, but it might be the efficiency strategy where they are optimizing the delivery and the service so that, unfortunately, those teens that I mentioned before that you're scaring with your private parts won't be answering the door. Instead, you'll have to go out, put on a robe, and enter a PIN code that came through the Domino's app. Not quite as fun, unless the car can talk to you and comment about how svelte you're looking under that robe, which would be nice. This is pretty crazy, though, dude. They're taking what, kit from Knight Rider, and then now they're using it to deliver pizzas. This is probably going to be something that happens more and more frequently in the future as we keep getting autonomous driving cars, and that is they're going to become delivery bots. Because, I mean, right now cars, I believe, have like a 70% occupancy that isn't taken in every single car. So 70% of the car isn't occupied at any given moment. And then when you park it, it's like 99% space in the car. And so if they're just having these pizza delivering bots driving around with pin coded locker inside of it, the pizza locker, and then you just pick out the one that you ordered. It's pretty crazy, but they'll probably start doing it with more than just pizza. They'll have coffee delivery, they'll have grocery delivery, all sorts of stuff, package delivery. I mean, there's so many people right now delivering packages, but if we could just do it with self-driving cars, that's sadly going to eliminate a lot of those well-paying jobs right now. So Domino's investing in self-driving vehicles. Didn't even know that. We've got their AI assistant. How does it work? Here is a couple ways that I believe they're investing in AI assistantry. How do you order a pizza? Well, these days, if you want to get in contact with a pizzeria, you have quite a lot of options. To name a few, you could do things like call the restaurant, download a food delivery app to your phone and place an order, visit the food delivery website or the pizzeria's own on your web browser, physically visit the pizzeria and place the order there, or use an AI-powered chatbot also on their website. So maybe we could, move that one up the list back to the food delivery website. But out of the 5, the most recently invented one was obviously the AI-powered chatbot. You can probably see where this is going. Domino's has implemented AI chatbots for pizza ordering. I believe it's on their website, dominos.com. Quite astonishingly, the corporation has placed its AI ordering assistant on virtually every platform imaginable. So I guess they actually have this cross-platform, so this isn't just on their website, but in any platform imaginable, from Google Home and Alexa. So they're using the same technology in both of these things, the website and Google Home, Alexa. That's voice-enabled technology versus text-enabled technology. You have to keep that in mind, but somehow it's talking with itself. Slack, Twitter, Facebook Messenger, text messages, smartwatches, even Ford Sync in their cars, and Samsung smart TVs. The customers do not need to interact with any human when placing the order, as the AI takes the orders fully autonomously. Users can select their favorite order and thus make a complete order by uttering a mere 2 or 3 words. That's pretty incredible. I don't think that Domino's invented the AI ordering system. They just partnered with a company that does it. But still, I mean, imagine that. This is like Amazon's wet dream, right? They made the one-click buy button. That was one of the things that Amazon started with that was like really popular, that made them one of the kings of internet e-commerce, is because you could buy things so stinking easy off of Amazon.com. And so now if you can just utter 2 or 3 words, hey Alexa, order me my favorite pizza. Order me my favorite pizza. That's 5 words. Well, and hey Alexa, so 7. Hey Alexa, order me my favorite pizza. That's 5 words. But if you can just say, hey Alexa, order pizza. Hey Alexa, order pizza. Oh my God, I'm confusing myself. That's 4 words. That's it. That's pretty nuts. If you could get it down to 1 word and just say pizza, and Alexa would pick that up, or Google Home would pick that up, dude, that's crazy. I'm not a big pizza person, but if you love pizza, and I know one of my friends loved Domino's Pizza, just imagine how easy that would be if you really want that hot, steaming Domino's delivery, dude, and you just shout pizza, and it shows up 15 minutes later. We are living in the future, dude. That is the future. How exciting is that? How exciting is that? Another thing they're doing with AI is ensuring quality. So this is definitely automation, not efficiency, but what was that other one? Efficiency, effectiveness, or even expert, because maybe it takes an expert to recognize a well-done pizza. But ensuring the quality of pizzas with an expert AI. Domino's is also using AI to augment its chef to constantly cook excellent pizza. Domino's noticed that customers were sharing photos of bad-looking pizzas on social media with inconsistent or even incorrect toppings. That is awesome. To combat this, the company started using machine learning AI they call the Dom Pizza Checker. The AI takes photos of every pizza in the restaurants that the chefs cook and analyze it, grading the pizza based on various criteria. For example, the Dom Pizza Checker examines if the toppings are spread evenly and if the selected ingredients are incorrect for the pizza type. That actually sucks that the chefs are getting that. That's like graded, man. That's school. They're back in school. They're getting graded on their homework of making pizza, and they got to do that every single night for like 8 hours a night or 4 hours, 5 hours a night. Like, that actually kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. That Dom Pizza Checker sucks. I thought that there was maybe robotics putting the pizza together, and then if the robot didn't do a good job, it like redid it. But if it's an actual human getting yelled at by the AI, that kind of sucks. Yeah. So if the pizza isn't up to standards, the AI asks the chef to remake it. After a satisfactory pizza has been made, the photo is sent to the customer, probably through the pizza tracker. This way, Domino's ensures there are no unwanted surprises when the customer gets the pizza. Wow, that's pretty crazy. It teamed up with Dragontail Systems. It took 2 years to launch the first version of this and is now self-improving as it scans pizzas every single day and learns from each and every one of them. Domino's is becoming the master of pizza scale. It's going to be tough if you're a new pizza company entering against Domino's. That's pretty crazy. To do a little review of everything here, the efficiency strategy, delivering pizzas with self-driving vehicles. We got the effectiveness strategy, using AI assistance to make orders possible with that one word, pizza. The expert strategy, augmenting chefs through image recognition. So they're considering that the expert strategy. And I guess the innovation strategy here is if they are just doing all these AI initiatives, right? If they're just messing with AI and integrating AI into their processes, that's technically innovation. So maybe that's their AI innovation strategy, is just actually implementing this stuff. Pretty rad. And I learned a little bit of something about, I got a nice hot toddy with me today. I learned a little bit about something between the different strategies of AI, the effectiveness, the efficiency, and the expert strategy. I hadn't heard that before. So, hey, we learn something new every day. There was an awesome article from Jacob Bergdahl, so shout out to him. He sounds familiar, I'm not sure why, but shout out to Jacob. Cool article and nice look at how Domino's is enhancing their pizza strategy with AI. So that was cool. Let's go back to Hong Kong. I'm leaving that window open just because it's so goddamn nice, dude. Let's hop into all the other stories for today. There is so many of them, starting with Google tracking your heartbeat through your through their front camera. Also, before I get to that, I'm all over the place right now. If you like my content, hit that subscribe button, mash the bell to get a notification every time I upload a new video. I would highly appreciate it, trying to grow this channel. And if you have an idea for the name of this show, I don't like Window Wandering Wednesday anymore. It's not SEO friendly. It's not easily searchable. People aren't finding my show. And I feel like I'm making awesome content and I'm teaching you about the future and about business strategies all in one type of thing. So if you have a better name for my show, let me know in the comments on YouTube below. But let's talk about this. Google Pixel phones will now soon track your heart rate using only its front or back camera. Google's latest Pixel phone features the ability to track heart rate using only the existing cameras. Let's look at their website here to see this. It looks like a fitness tracker. Maybe it's built into some sort of Google fitness tracker here. Measure your respiratory rate with your phone camera for the most accurate read. Make sure you're positioned comfortably and looking at the camera without anything covering your face. So I'm looking at a picture of like the instructions from the Google Fit app, and it's telling us how we need to work with our camera. It seems that we need to actually place it in front of us, leaned against a flower pot or something else, maybe a mug filled with coffee. To point it at our face. And then you got to position yourself in the frame. So they give you 2 frames to position your face and your chest in. And then you hold still and it detects your face and your chest. And then it tells you eventually your heartbeat based on this. Is pretty crazy. Yeah, so it says your results 16 breaths per minute at the end of this. So it's probably using your chest to watch it go up and down, but yeah, how it's gonna do your bloodstream? Oh, apparently Pixel phones don't have a PPG, which is like a physical photophiligosomography right here. I'm trying to do this word. Physical photophiligosomography. I don't got that word. I do not have that word. Woo! Photophiligosomography. It doesn't have a PPG for short, scanner. What it usually does is shines a green LED onto your skin, which is reflected back by your bloodstream to the camera. It's basically a specialized camera, but Google's Pixel solution just uses the actual camera, and you have to only place your finger on the rear-facing camera lens. So apparently you just place your finger on the back like you're opening something using your fingerprint, and it can tell you about your heart rate. That's pretty cool, actually. I mean, the not cool part is that Google now is tracking your respiratory system and your heartbeat. So it's, another layer of information that Google is collecting on you to do God knows what. Advertise maybe circulatory medicine to you or something. I have no idea. But it's offered from Google, not from Apple. Apple is trying to do similar things with their Apple Watch. It's pretty cool that they're doing it with just a camera, though, and not an additional sensor. I think that's pretty cool technology. I wonder who actually made that and where they got that from. Speaking of cool technology, also this PowerPaste. I don't know if that's the company name or the type of battery, the code name for this product. PowerPaste packs clean hydrogen energy in a convenient gray goop. So we can see here on the screen, there's literally, it looks like clay, like gray clay, and it's being poured out, but it's called PowerPaste. And apparently it stores 10 times the energy of a lithium ion battery, which is what those, like, normally they're the little circle batteries that you have in things. This apparently stores hydrogen at a 10 times the density of that, offering hydrogen fuel cells the ability to travel further than gasoline-powered ones. And this is the even more exciting part, refuel in only minutes. That means it could be a better fuel source than even electricity because it's hydrogen-powered, which means I think that you can do it with potentially water, H2O. Like H2O is hydrogen, 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. Typically, of course, it says here in the article, hydrogen fuel cells carry their H2 fuel in gaseous form. Okay, so it's a gas stored in tanks of very high pressure, so not very safe. These tanks are fairly large and heavy, but a team based off the Fraunhofer Institute for Manufacturing Technology and Advanced Materials in Dresden have come up with an interesting new way to store and carry hydrogen energy in something they call the PowerPaste. Apparently, they have built and tested a prototype generator using a PowerPaste cartridge that generated 100 watt PEM for fuel cell. So, for example, refueling a PowerPaste scooter would be a matter of pulling out the cartridge and replacing it with a full one at a service station. In this way, the staff could become something like a bottle of this PowerPaste could become like a bottle of barbecue gas. You just stop at a station, you switch it out, and you continue on your way. Pretty rad. They also have talked about using it in larger drones, because uptime for drones is also very important, or flight time for drones. You want longer flight time, and I think that right now, like, the longest might be 3 hours. So if this could extend the range of drones, that's also very, I guess, useful for certain purposes. But it's called PowerPaste. If you want to look into it, if you're interested in it, out of the TU Dresden, pretty cool that it's right nearby me here in Germany, and that we're moving towards a better, more sustainable future for especially vehicles, as Germany is struggling right now in their fight against the electric vehicle. Let's move on to another window, even though I don't want to leave this one because it's so nice. Next up, we've got, the sirens outside. Woo, woo, woo. Crazy today. Maybe I need to come up with a theme song when there's a siren. It's a siren, somebody's heard. It's a siren, there's a crime. It's a siren, pew, 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 pew. Bad theme song. Siren, siren, siren. Woo, woo, coming for you. I don't know, I got nothing. No good songs today. I hope they're doing their jobs good, though. This window is Howley, Minnesota. It is very open field. It looks like a prairie. It's just green for miles. So much green. Nice fence, though. Bird feeder in the backyard. Very pleasant window to talk about the next topic, which is Apple mixed reality headset. To have 2 8K displays inside of each of the eyes, and it will cost only $3,000 US. Apple is reportedly planning to release this VR device that features 2 of the 8K blah 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 blah. It will be equipped with more than a dozen cameras for tracking hand movements. Ooh, that's interesting, because that means that if it's a headset, so you're putting on a headset, maybe it's glasses, maybe it's a whole headset like an Oculus. I'm not really sure. I'll open up a video here. But if it's got full hand tracking, it means you don't need additional controllers. You could just move your hands up in front of you, wave them around, and then it starts tracking it. So you can cast spells, you can swipe through things, you can open inventory, you can click drag, all using just your hand, and hand tracking is a very tricky technology. So that's very cool if they do have full hand tracking in it. The displays also have an eye tracking technology, so it can detect where you're looking and decrease the resolution in other areas of the display. So if it has that like focus mode, I guess. So there's no way that this is Apple's device. It looks like the most lame VR headset drawing you could imagine, like a middle schooler drew it. This does not look like something Apple would make. I don't know about that. Yeah, and then there's some sort of chat about it, like I'm doing right now. Sounds pretty cool. I'm very curious to see what it's actually going to look like. But 2 8K displays is pretty goddamn impressive, especially when you consider that if it's a mixed reality device, you can see through them at one point or at some point. Or it's just displaying the world in front of you through the camera lens on this 8K screens that are, right in front of your eyes. curious to see what it looks like. Curious to see how it works. Looking forward to it. Apple has been very on top of their mixed reality content. It's been something they've been investing heavily into and talking about for years. So that's pretty rad that Apple is finally moving forward with a very nice headset. I want to see what it looks like. And man, when we start getting mixed reality content, you guys, the world is going to get crazy. It's going to be so crazy where we can walk around and people can potentially project what avatars they want you to have or what clothes they're wearing. So I could be wearing this, but you'd actually see me in like, I don't know, some sort of like puffy jacket that's from Gucci that I paid for that digital swag, which I've also discussed on this before. It's gonna get real crazy, and 5G is also gonna be mixed in with this mixed reality content, which will enable us to have faster processing of these visuals at a higher quality rate because of the distance. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, 5G will enable that. And man, the future is just looking absolutely insane. Also, speaking of the future, Facebook is now, they have the Oculus Rift, which is VR, and they've been more recently talking about teleporting into work. Yes, teleporting. So Mark Zuckerberg detailed Facebook's progress in virtual reality and augmented reality in a Clubhouse meeting recently. Sucks. Not a fan of Clubhouse. A combination of AR and VR will unlock the ability for anyone to live anywhere they want, opening up a lot of economic opportunities. People will be able to, quote, teleport, into their workplace. He means by putting on a VR headset, teleporting into the workspace. I thought we meant actual teleporting, which would be incredible. I was like, Facebook working on teleportation? Was it in that quantum stuff? But I get the whole like teleport anywhere you want in the world type of thing. That's more like holodeck from Star Trek and less like beam me up Scotty. I was hoping for the beam me up Scotty, but apparently Facebook working on quote teleportation. Definitely not what I was hoping it was. And Reddit bought a 5-second Super Bowl ad celebrating the GameStop controversy. Reddit aired a 5-second long ad during the Super Bowl just to swing its its big dick around, saying that Reddit is definitely a valuable company. Here's the spot. Let's look at it real quick. It's a Reddit post. That's hilarious. Wow.
In the heart.
That's it. What a crazy little ad. It's just like cars, so you think it's gonna be a car commercial, and then they go, here's a Reddit post, upvoted. It says big game spots are expensive, so we didn't buy a full one. But we were inspired and decided to spend our entire marketing budget on 5 seconds of airtime. One thing we learned from the communications last week is that the underdogs can accomplish just about anything when they come together around a common idea. That's definitely a nod to Wall Street Bets. Who knows, maybe you'll be the reason finance textbooks have to add a chapter on tendies. Definitely a shout out to Wall Street Bets. They call their winnings tendies, as in chicken tenders. Maybe you'll help out r/super owl. Teach the world about the majesty of owls. Maybe you'll even pause this 5-second ad. Powerful things happen when people rally around something they really care about, and there's a place for that. It's called Reddit. Yo, that's a dope ad though. That is really cool, creative little ad, and it's also the power of Reddit. It is the place to build a community. If you're looking to build a community, Reddit is the place to do it. It's where passionate people come together. They're not kidding. That is where things happen. It always happens on Reddit. It always originates on Reddit since Reddit has been around. Even if people say that it hasn't come from Reddit, all those meme websites that you look at and you enjoy, 4chan and whatever, all the ones on Instagram, like The Gains, one I know of that's a bigger one around fitness. Most of that stuff, in some way, shape, or form, originated on Reddit. I love it. That's a really cool ad. Shout out to Reddit for their big gamble, swinging their dick around, saying, yo, we just changed the financial system. Also, we've got a bunch of other cool stuff happening there every single day. So give Reddit a check out if you have not. But moving on, Reddit, talk to you later. New robotic arms opens up musical worlds for cyborg drummer. Let's see this. Georgia Institute of Technology built this robotic arm. Oh, I thought it was going to be like a robot arm that was drumming, but this is a extension of a prosthetic. So like somebody lost an arm and then they have attached this thing to his arm, and it's a prosthesis which allows him to drum. But he can drum with two sticks on one arm, whereas for a human that would be much more challenging. Like, not for a human, the guy's human, but for a non-mechanical arm or hand, it would be much more challenging. That's pretty cool. Again, this is a YouTube show, so if you want to see the actual stuff that I talk about, head on over to my YouTube channel, look up Window Wandering Wednesday. Robotic arms open up new possibilities. All of the robotic stuff and prosthesis opens up new possibilities. I joke all the time that at some point I'm going to opt to cut off my arm and get a robot arm because it's going to be more powerful than my normal arm. I'm going to have a Mega Buster. You can call me Mega Joe. I'll charge up like the good old Blue Bomber Mega Man himself. Can't wait. But in the meantime, there's this new app called Clubhouse. There's where house comes from. That is an audio jump-in service. You jump in and jump out of audio content. I'm not a fan of it. It's very elitist to me, and you can do the same thing on Discord. But for some reason, people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are using it. It's kind of just like a fireside chat app to me. Like, that's what it is. It's just a digital fireside chat, which is kind of cool because sometimes these people are places that you can't access them. But if Mark Zuckerberg or anyone is jumping in to these big platforms and you can have access to them easier, that's pretty cool. But regardless, Clubhouse has also gained a lot of Chinese users recently. I don't think they've outlawed it there yet. Thousands are joining in on discussions that are usually censored by the Chinese government. Chinese-speaking communities from around the world are discussing China-Taiwan relations and shared knowledge about the Uyghur situation. Clubhouse is only accessible by invite on iPhones. Maybe that's why they can't block it. Further access to the public could see the app banned. Those who are using the app are currently taking a high degree of risk in China. That's pretty interesting, though, that there's a censor-free debate going on in China through Clubhouse. Very cool that they picked up on the ability to use that and hopped into it. But it will eventually get regulated. It's just there's no way it won't, if not banned by the Chinese government. But in the meantime, if you do know Chinese and you can have an iPhone and want to have access to that, pretty cool. Some shorter stories. Tesla bought Bitcoin, and when it did, it just rocketed up even more. So it bounced back up past its previous high, inching towards $50,000 per Bitcoin. I am currently still hodling my Bitcoin. I've been hodling since I think 2015 now. So I'm actually doing fairly well. I don't own a lot of it, to be perfectly clear. I own less than one. I own a part of one Bitcoin, but it still owns some, and I'm very proud of it, and I can't wait for it to keep going up, because maybe if it keeps going to the moon, I can either keep holding it or I can sell it and pay off all my student loan debt and just say, thanks, Satoshi Naka. No more debt, Nakamoto. Last story here, which I think is really interesting, is that Twitter, who has been struggling to have a business model, just recently announced that they want to, if I can find the story, I'm sure you can hear the mouse scrolling. Twitter announced that they want to have a new app store that is for algorithms. Damn it, where is the story? So Jack Dorsey said he wants to have users of Twitter be able to choose what they're getting served. So right now, on these social media platforms, you can't choose what the algorithm is showing you. It just shows you stuff based on what you're interested in. And Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey wants people to be able to choose which algorithm controls your social media content from a marketplace. Rather than relying on a single company to get it right, this will be part of how decentralized social networks will work. Companies will have access to much more data on a decentralized network. They will compete based on how they can serve relevant content to users. Decentralization could help platforms deal with laws around user-created content. Twitter has been developing Blue Sky, a decentralized social network, since the end of 2019. It is still in the research phase, but I think it's very interesting, the idea of allowing a marketplace to serve content. So right now, as I mentioned, you don't have a choice, but maybe I could be like, I don't like what content I'm getting. I want to reset my algorithm. I'm going to go on someone else's trained algorithm that they've maybe spent time curating or whatever it is, purchase that news source, you could call it a news source, that feed for $5, and then now I have access to a curated content that I'm choosing to opt in on. And it would also give you the ability maybe to switch between content. So right now, I don't know what's going on in the Republican blogosphere, for example. I'm just not in it. Just like I actually don't know what's going on in the liberal blogosphere either. I don't really follow either one. But if I wanted to do it, maybe I could go on the Twitter app marketplace and I could choose, hey, I want to look at the Republican stuff. Show me what their current interests are, and then it would just give me a feed mixed in with my other stuff of Republican content, and I could be like, okay, wow, filter it out, let me see here. So these are the ads they're seeing, this is the opinions they're talking, these are the talking points they have, and then I feel a little bit more informed on what's happening on that side of the aisle. Could also apply for maybe just Apple products. You could jump into the algorithm that only talks about Apple influencers and people, and then you could see all of the things going on around Apple. Maybe this will also help smaller content creators get discovered. If they're really niched into a certain topic, they'll get served in a bunch of different algorithms, and some people can finally get out of their goddamn algorithm bubble if this is a real thing. That is very cool. If it would be free or paid, or if there's premium feeds, I'm just guessing that that's a thing, because that's how they need to make money. A premium feed, maybe curated by a well-known tech journalist or something, as an example, or well-known political pundit, I don't know, CEO, whatever it is, or just like a comedian. Maybe you're really into comedy, and for example, on Your Mom's House, Christina Pajitsky has curated a very interesting, I'm just going to say that, very interesting TikTok feed, and you want access to that feed or her particular algorithm. Maybe you can pay Christina a couple dollars to have access and see what her world is like through the algorithm that she has made for TikTok. So I think this is a really, really interesting development for Twitter, and finally gives them some push to have a new business model, because they need it. They're really behind in comparison to all other social media companies. They're not valued as high as Facebook and everyone else. And the last thing that I want to talk about here is some sort of concept car that walks. A car that walks? Oh, okay. So this is not a real big car. This is like a smaller car, like a Boston Dynamics type of thing here. So it's just the small thing. This is Hyundai's first walking car concept to get to places where humans can't go. I'm not sure if I remember this correctly, but Hyundai might have bought in Boston Dynamics, and maybe this is part of what they're doing with it. The concept is called Tiger One, clearly using 3D printed parts. Tiger is designed to travel through challenging locations. In this video here, that's on CNN Business, they have it walking on through the desert, like literally walking like an insect on 4 legs, and then also extending itself up to get over higher block barriers like a tree. Yeah, this is super futuristic. That's hilarious. It's literally like a walking car. They're not joking. It looks like the wheels are on feet, but then it can also fold up to just look like a car. Pretty cool. If you want to see it again, hop on the YouTube. Clearly meant for more transporting payloads at the moment and not transporting people. But shout out to Hyundai for walking cars. Maybe these will be the ones delivering our packages here in the future. That's been today's Window Wandering Wednesday show. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you have something cool to talk about with your friends over at the the Zoom call over at the water cooler channel on Slack, whatever you have, however you're meeting people, because, the COVID-19 pandemic, we're all living in a weird pandemic hell right now, but also kind of not a hell because we're all connected through technology. And we're living in a great time to be experiencing the pandemic if you look at it in a different light. But regardless, stay safe, mask up. If you like my content, hit that subscribe button and share me with a friend. And remember to think of an idea for how I can rename or rebrand this show or even my channel as a whole, as discovery seems to be a problem for me now. I've been doing this for a year and it's just not growing as fast as I would have imagined it would for the level of content that I'm creating, which is, mediocre. But until next time, I hope to hear your suggestions, and I hope that you wander somewhere cool because you know it. I love you.